Welcome to Season 6 of the Longwinded One podcast. This is Spoiler Sessions, Lit RPG, the only show where spoilers don't spoil anything. We're digging into fan theories, side characters, and the lore authors left in the drawer.
All right. Welcome everybody to I think this is episode 17 already. It's crazy. And this is like a magic week because this is episode 17 and we are 17 weeks away from Lit RPG Con, everyone. But with me tonight, I have Sam Boyd from Boyd Reads. I can't talk. And Sam is everywhere these days. And you can find her on Instagram and on TikTok are primarily the places that I find you. Sam, where else can we find you?
Facebook, here on YouTube I post, and Snapchat, I think, everywhere. Threads, all the places.
Threads, wow, you're prolific. Yes. Yeah. And speaking of prolific, with us tonight we have Casualfarmer of Beware of Chicken fame, and. Hello. And you have this really crazy fun animated chicken that talks when you talk. So
yes, I do.
I have chicken. I have chicken envy. And we have some folks in chat with us. We have 4 people in chat with us right now, and I'm sure that will keep growing. Dennis Reads. Hey, Dennis says hello. And so everybody, if this is your first time tuning in, the way this is going to work is we have a very kind of strict 30 minutes to talk about specific questions. Some of them may be like little tiny baby spoilers, right? We don't want to ruin the series for anyone of Beware of Chicken, but we do want to kind of get in there and talk about the juicy bits, things that may or may not have been talked about on other podcasts. So Casual, without any further ado, could you maybe give us like a high level view of the Beware of Chicken series?
So in Beware of Chicken, it is an isekai. So that means a character from our world is transported to another world. And this is a world of cultivation. Cultivation is the Chinese concept of basically meditation and consuming like magical reagents to grow stronger in power. It's kind of like Chinese Dragon Ball Z. It's what Dragon Ball Z got a lot of its ideas from. So the main character gets transported to this world of might and power and sorcery, and then immediately leaves everything behind to run away and become a farmer because it's too dangerous and violent for him. So he runs away from all the power, away from all the glory. He runs away to the weakest place in the empire, starts up a farm, and then because he has no use for it, he starts feeding his magical spirit herbs to his chicken because he's like, oh, they taste good, they're great. And the chicken suddenly starts hopping along the fence, starts doing what looks like training montages as he slowly gets more and more intelligent. And eventually he awakens as what's called a spirit beast, and shenanigans happen from there.
All kinds of shenanigans. And he's actually, so Jin is the main character that you're talking about, and he's actually very methodical about going to the least powerful part of the world, right? Do you want to tell everybody kind of how that works and how he chooses that area and what that area is called in case we reference it later?
So he chooses what's called the Azure Hills. He finds it out in what's called the archives, which is kind of like the library that was set up. So he specifically goes and he looks for, okay, what's the weakest place? What's the place with the least amount of cultivators? I'm going to go there because the world of cultivation is extremely violent. It is basically constant warring. People like murder entire families for slights. It's called Out by the Roots, where you kill somebody's entire family, like to 9 generations. It's like horrible stuff. The main character recognizes that and immediately goes, no, don't want anything to do with this. Don't want any of the cultivation rat race, which involves meditating for like 10,000 years in a cave. And he just leaves.
Yeah. And I got to say, Sam, you and I are kind of new to the whole cultivation thing, right? Was this one of your first cultivation novels?
This was the first, so I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you're getting some love in the chat. Dennis is very says that yay, we love Sam and Casualfarmer. And Dennis, I won't take offense to that. You didn't mention me, but we just met the other night, so that's I understand. So for those of you who are joining in, and there's more people in chat now, say hi, ask your questions. We have more questions than we'll probably actually have time to get to. But if you have something that's burning hot and you want to ask casual, you can ask casually. See what I did there? All right. So I want to get right into this. Richie's here. Hey, Richie. Oh, let's go, he says. All right. So we have a whole cast of characters, right? There are, so this is a Xanthia novel, which translates to immortal heroes. It's kind of a Taoist thing. Or it was in lit RPG. There's no sense of like religion or philosophy necessarily, although I think you could argue there is. It is also considered a cultivation novel, and so our main character Jin is our MC, and then we have this other character named Xiulan, and so here's the first question. And Xiulan is kind of like a powerful being herself. So the original Xiulan, who was later split into two characters, her and her mother's backstory. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. So tell me, it was normally split into two characters. So can you tell us about sort of the evolution of Xiulan?
So Xiulan was originally, so there's a bunch of archetypes in Xianjia, and Beware of Chicken is kind of a parody, kind of a deconstruction of the Xianjia genre. It like pokes fun at the tropes and stuff, but that's because I quite like it. So Xiulan was originally supposed to be the young mistress archetype. So a young mistress is super haughty, super arrogant. They believe like the world belongs to them, and she was just actually when I was first writing her, she was actually just a massive bitch. And I realized, and as I was reading and writing her, I was like, I wanted this character to become liked by the audience. And as I was reading her and what she was doing, because she's like strong arming the Lord Magistrate, which is another character that lots of people like, I realized that kind of path wouldn't work so well. And originally, she's supposed to be a lot more powerful. She's supposed to be from a different province. So she was supposed to be, so with the Azure Hills, it's the weakest province in the Empire. So she was supposed to be somebody who's like high tier and kind of like, she looks young, but she's actually like 500 years old or so.
Yeah.
And so that was the original plan for her. But then I realized that I needed something a little bit more grounded, a little bit more close to home. And so I changed Xiulan to instead be the young mistress of a nearby sect. So she was super weak and like Big D, even when he was weak, could fight her and beat her instead of the person who can like punch mountains out. And she was eventually split into two characters, which is herself and her mother, which will come up in later books.
Yep.
And her mother is the more powerful cultivator from out of the province who got knocked into the province by her enemies, and so she had to have some fights and stuff there.
Yeah. Well, so and Sam, you tell me what you think of this, but I'm wondering if some of those, like the original concept that you had for Xiulan, the kind of, what did you call her, like a grouchy
so she's the young mistress archetype.
Okay, but that's kind of bossy and grouchy, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So she's bossy, she's arrogant, she's haughty, she like glares at people and calls them peasants.
So I'm wondering how when that character evolved, did any of those traits land in a particular character? Or
so some of them did land into Tigu, which is the cat character. So she's more like the young mistress. So she's arrogant. She believes that everybody who lives at the farm is better than everybody else. She feels like she's on the top of the totem pole, and she's just kind of mean and bullies people.
All right, and
that tracks.
Yeah, you got Well, what about, was she a love interest?
So in the original Beware of Chicken, she was a love interest, yes, because the original Beware of Chicken was a bit spicier than this, shall we say?
Oh yes, spicy. I know those stories. Those are the stories I can't write.
Yes, I can't write them either, and that's why it's not that.
Yeah. Well, Sam, do you read any spicy?
I was gonna say that's kind of where I started in my reading career, is in the romance genre. So I'm very familiar with spicy.
Spicy beware of chicken. Richie wants some spicy beware of chicken. Yes, Richie. We got the lowdown on that before we clicked go live. So I would kind of like
kind of intrigued. I'm not gonna lie.
Casual. Would you be open to some fanfic? Because I can see all kinds of
There
Big
already
D.
is some. There already is some.
Oh, there is.
That's how you know you've made it. There's people writing fanfics of your story.
Oh my gosh. People in chat they're like, oh my gosh, give me some. Oh my. Dennis says.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
A good portion of that is also pushed by my artist.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, I don't do spicy, but one of my favorite things is to watch, and Sam, you've probably seen this on TikTok, is to see voice actors, like their bloopers of trying to do spicy scenes. Those are hysterically funny. Love that. All right, on to the next question. I digress. Okay, what kind of trouble did Xiulan's mom have that she wound up in? You said I'm guessing that is the Azure Hills.
Yes, that is indeed the Azure Hills. So Xiulan's mother is from the province to the south. It's called Yellow Rock Plateau. It's a giant mesa. So when you look at it from the Azure Hills, it looks like a massive wall rising a kilometer into the sky, and then it levels out. It's got yellowish rocks, and it's the closest thing I can think of is kind of like slightly like Mexico. So it's arid, and that's where a lot of the main characters' crops come from, like the corn and the he gets avocados and a lighter boat from there. But Yellow Rock Plateau is like that, and her mother is from Yellow Rock Plateau, and she was a member of a sect there, one of the more powerful ones.
Hmm.
And what happened is there was a power struggle for control of the sect. And what happened is she had a big fight. There was a bunch of enemies that were trying to kill her. And she eventually gets knocked from the plateau into the Azure Hills, which is where Xiulan's father finds her. And he nurses her back to health. And stuff happens from there. And she has Xiulan. And eventually she has to leave. So she leaves when Xiulan is 12 to resume her cultivation journey, because the Azure Hills is so weak and has got so little chi that she can't progress from there. So she has to say goodbye to her family again. She's like, I've been with you for 12 years. It's time for me to return to my own journey. And she leaves, and they haven't heard from her for 10 years, and they have no idea if she's alive or dead. And then it was recently shown in a more recent chapter that she is indeed alive, and she's at a place called Soaring Heaven's Isle, which is one of the strongest sects in the world, and it is an all-female sect.
Oh, okay. Well, this is I want to hear more about sects, right? We haven't talked about that, and I have to enunciate. I told Sam before, sect, not sex. We're not on the spicy stuff anymore. Yes,
just take that clip out and put it.
That's right. Yeah. Jess does these on in the Other Worlds podcast. Yeah. She does these great clips, and this would definitely be one of those clips. Yep. So yes, so we're the next two questions are about sects.
Yeah.
SECT. We love a good sect, Richie says. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about these sects? Maybe even the one Jin comes from.
Okay. So a sect is kind of like a martial arts organization. They follow a particular way of doing things. So there is the Cloudy Sword sect, which is the sect that the main character comes from, which is one of the other strongest sects in the world. And they have each sect has a kind of set of techniques they practice and the way they look at the world. So the Cloudy Sword sect is all about being scholarly, and how basically if wisdom is more valuable than strength. So one of their common sayings is kowtow to the mortal who enlightens you, disdain the barbarian who knows only the strength of his arm. And that is extremely rare in Xianjia, because Xianjia is mostly might makes right.
Right.
So the Cloudy Sword sect is super righteous, and they one of their main reasons is to fight demons, and they practice the Cloudy Sword arts. And their strongest thing is called the Raging Cloudy Sword formation, which is actually a kind of trick that they play on people. So it has nothing to do with anger or anything. It's kind of, I guess, quantum imposition. You know, the whole Schrodinger's cat thing, how you don't know if the cat's alive or dead. So their thing is they make a cloud full of their own chi, And since you don't know where they are, they're everywhere and nowhere at once. So they can be beside you and stabbing you in the throat with a sword, and when you try and hit them back, they were never there in the first place. And as long as you don't know what they're doing, you can't actually hit them. So they're one of the like super strong sects. And another sect is called the Shrouded Mountain Sect, whose sayings is strength above all. They practice the fulmination art, so they like blast lightning down on people and teleport in battle in massive lightning storms. And they're super aggressive, super martial, and they have constant infighting and stuff amongst all their people because the thing is like you have to be strong. But the sects are martial arts organizations who are kind of outside the bounds of law because cultivators are walking super weapons effectively.
Yeah.
So cultivators can like punch mountains to death. They can rip the sea in half, and like one of the more powerful characters just draws a sword and like cuts a 10-mile rent in the land. So
yeah, that's wow.
So that's why all the mortals are like, don't get in the cultivator's way. All the mortals are normal people. They go, don't get in the cultivator's way. Like the sects do what they want. They're like exempt from taxes and stuff like that by the emperor because the world is so big and so dangerous. And one of their jobs is basically patrolling the roads and fighting spirit beasts. And spirit beasts are superpowered animals. And so one of the first things that Jin meets when he's running to the Azure Hills is called an earth-crushing devil serpent. It's like a kilometer-long snake that's just destroying everything in its path, and can basically shrug tank rounds off its scales.
There's something, and Sam, tell me how you feel about this, but there's something like I love, and this is like pretty prevalent, right? The superpowered MC in lit RPG, right? There's something like relaxing about knowing like, and the other characters in the novel are just amazed that Jin meets these spirit beasts, and Jen's just like, yeah, I don't know, it was just like I forget the animals, but it was just like, yeah, there was a bear out there, I took care of it, and they're like the devil bear of
the
like
wolf, right? Wasn't it a wolf?
Oh, was it a wolf?
Wolf?
Yeah.
The Wicked Blade.
No big deal.
No,
and everybody's
no
like, wait, no, like they've been, terrorizing us for X amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zhang is normally very concerned with power levels. So where Jin comes from, he's basically weak. He's nothing special. He's trash. And when he goes to the Azure Hills, he's the strongest person there.
Yeah.
Big fish in a small pond. Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk more about the sects. So the Verdant Blade Sect, was there a betrayal that we were going to talk about tonight?
So this comes in book 3.
Okay.
But so that would be book 3 of the official release, book 2 of the web volume, because I wrote too much in book 2 and it had to be split in half. But essentially there comes a point. So when I was originally writing the book 2 was supposed to be maybe like half to a quarter of the length. And so I originally imagined things happening way faster, and there were certain plot points that I wanted to hit. And what happened was, in the original timeline, Xiulan's sect, the Verdant Blade Sect, betrays her, betrays basically everybody from the farm, betrays Tigu and all the people who were at the tournament, and tries to hand Xiulan over to the Shrouded Mountain Sect. But that ended up not happening because it didn't really make sense with the way the story changed. So what I tend to do when I write is I plot out things that I want to hit. And then how I get there is kind of really up in the air because I'm writing a web serial. I write 3 chapters every week. So as I write, sometimes the characters evolve. And as the characters evolved and progressed, it became clear that having the Verdant Blade Sect betray them just didn't work narratively, and it didn't lead into what I wanted things to do. And so originally, Xiulan's father was supposed to be killed, and the Verdant Blade Sect was supposed to be like completely overrun. They would have to go on the run themselves, and that just ended up not happening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had a question about, where was I going with this now? Oh, it was so good. So can I ask a question, but before I forget? So when I don't want to give too much away, the plow that Jin gets in book 1.
Yeah.
Can I ask who was it? Who was the character that helped create that for Xiulan?
That was I actually forget his name right now, but he comes in later, and he is the blacksmith of the Verdant Blade Sect. He had his throat cut, and he's a mute, and he's been in the sect for like 80 years, and he's like very, very old, and he makes the swords that most of the other people use in the sect.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember whether it was a member of Xiulan's family or not that helped.
No.
But no, he's the blacksmith. Okay, now I remember my question too, and I'm curious to see Sam's take on this. So, and don't worry, I'm not putting you on the spot too much. But so Casual was just talking about the way he writes, and have in the podcast that you've been on and your discussions with people, have you encountered the difference between a pantser and a plotter?
I know Matt Dinneman is a pantser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how any author that writes that way, how your mind works, and it all just ends up coming together at the end. It truly blows my mind. You're so talented. I can't even.
Well, so I'm curious now, Casual, as we talk about the difference, the way you describe. See, I always thought I was a pantser, but then I look at my outlines and like what I do, and I'm like, there's no
You
way.
have an outline.
Well, an outline is one thing, but like,
Right.
but like the like Casual is just saying, as you write, it kind of changes, and so I never really knew what category I fit into, and so I'm curious now, Casual. You know, your writing changes your outline a little bit. So do you consider yourself a pantser or a plotter?
So plotter for the things that I want to hit, pantser for everything in between.
Oh, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
So I've got the things that I want to hit, and everything is in progress to getting to those things that I want to hit. Like the one moment that Xiulan had was supposed to be in book 2. It ended up in book 6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like the scene. I really like the scene. The scene is happening. How I get to there, well, it might take a little bit.
I don't know if you do this either. So like kind of my outlines change a little bit too. Like, so for my 3rd book in the series that I'm writing, I'm not doing an outline. I'm just writing like loose ends that I want to like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to close this one. I got to close this one. I close this one. Do you do that as well?
So it's not really a bullet point. It's it's not really like an outline. It's like 6 bullet points of the scene, the scene, the scene, the scene. All right, go.
Yes, exactly. I know I got to get there eventually, right? So yeah. Anyway, so we have some questions here. So Dennis, more of a generalized question. Is there already a planned ending to the series, and how many books are expected in the series?
Ending's already been planned. Ending's been planned since my first week writing the first book, but when and how I get there is up in the air. But Beware of Chicken does 100% have an end. I don't know how many books it's going to be. I still have lots of stuff that I'd like to write, but the ending has been set in stone since the beginning, basically.
And I'm curious, and someone else said that our style of, or your style of writing is called improv writing. But I am curious. So when you end this series eventually, once you have all those things out, do you have other ideas for other things that you want to write?
Oh, yes. I've got a whole bunch of other ideas. I've got my little booklet of things that I have. One is called Einherjar, which is basically Viking cultivation. And another one is called Stormbreakers, which is kind of like airships and steampunk. So I've got those.
Totally different areas here, but the
And I've also actually got like a couple of Beware of Chicken alternate universes that I'm currently writing. Those are up on like Royal Road and stuff. So I've got 3 extra ones. Like one of them is the main character's grandfather in the original book. He makes a joke about sending Jin to the all-female sect Soaring Heaven's Isle. In the alternate universe, he actually does end up sending him there. So it's basically more shenanigans like that. He dies in that one when when 2 cultivators called the Stormwings accidentally blow up his entire residence, and that's how he gets found out. And then, in the beginning of the book, he basically dies, and that's how he gets transported into the guy's body. In this one, they blow up the island. He nearly dies, and then he wakes up as Jin again.
That is genius. I've seen that on Royal Road. I've seen your alternate universe. That's you too?
Yeah. All the alternate universes that are under Casualfarmer are me. So there's Soaring Heaven's Isle, which is he gets sent to the all-female sect. There's Elder but Younger Sister, where he reincarnates when he's still a kid, and he accidentally gives his grandfather Shenyu the idea how to save his daughter's life, who's been stuck in stasis for 300 years, effectively. And so Elder but Younger Sister is basically kind of exploring their relationship and like the main character, and how the main character adjusts to suddenly being the son of a very strong person.
That's so cool. And what a great thing to do as an author, to kind of like scratch those other itches that
Yeah.
about things that could be, right? Like,
No,
but
that's amazing.
I want to know from Sam, and I'm going to read two comments here. So Dennis says, yes, we need steampunk. And First Time Building says airships, more airships and skyships. So Sam, I want to know, out of the things Casual said he that they want to write, what do you want to read? Steampunk? What do you think?
It is intriguing. The first one you said though was Viking, right?
Yeah.
Viking or Norse mythology.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a little bit more up my alley, but
too.
I am willing. Did you see my face when he said that? Is that why you're asking?
Oh, well, I'm just curious. I mean, because it's good for authors to get feedback, like
for
what
sure.
people want to read. I don't know. Does that impact what you write next, Casual?
So originally the kind of Viking cultivator idea was originally going to be in Beware of Chicken. So this kind of leads into one of the questions that we have. So in the year, I actually wrote it out before deciding it would detract too much from the original story. But originally, Shen Yu, the main character's grandfather, who appears in the end of book 1, was part of effectively the cultivation Argonauts. So there was an Hyriar, which is one of the Viking cultivators. There was like a Greek guy, and they call it Numa instead of Chi. And there's like people from India, and like the navigator of the ship was like a lady from basically not Africa called Nala, and is basically they were sent into the sea between worlds to go and fight demons. So basically, Shen Yu was called to go on this massive cultivator Argonauts journey, and in the thing they smash into a demon world, and all these super powerful cultivators jump off the Viking longship to go and fight the demons.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. And I too, Sam, love Norse, and I like steampunk. I like airships and all that stuff too. I did play some of those, types of role-playing games growing up. So by the way, First Time Building is actually always rolls a 1. He writes a soldier's life and a gladiator's life and a number of World Sphere and a number of other things. He's in chat. He said he couldn't figure out how to change his username on YouTube. I feel your pain, Eric. I feel it. I just, trying to use TikTok. Oh gosh, I feel like a boomer. Not that there's anything wrong with being a boomer. Pop. Anyway, so guys, we have about 3 minutes left, and it goes really fast, right? This is where in the conversation I generally ask what people have coming out, what people have going on currently, where we can find you online. And if it's okay, Sam, can I start with you?
Sure.
What's coming up for you? Like, what are you excited about? You have some
RPG Con.
Yeah.
So pumped to be a panelist at Lit RPG Con this year. Obviously being kind of new to the genre, I'm just getting dipping my toes in, but hopefully I'll be fully prepared in the next, what'd you say, 17 weeks?
17 weeks, yeah.
Woo! It's coming up. Getting some cosplays together for that, and then I've got a couple other conventions later on this year after that, and I'm just steady on with my social media game, so you can find me pretty much everywhere.
The people that can do what you do online, I'm just in awe of. And if you haven't checked out Sam's all of her socials, please check her out. Sam Boyd Reads, all one word, right? It's all smushed together like usernames are. And Sam, you got to get some swag like me. This is an OnlyFans joke. I don't know if you can read this, but yes, I have a podcast. There's a little microphone there. So I'm getting my swag ready for Lit RPG Con. Got my shirts. We have giveaways. We're going to, I don't know if you're planning to do that, but so get your ribbons, right? Get all I got some Get Trucked little trucks with mints in them. Dennis, who is Sam? Please, Dennis,
get better.
Yeah, get out of here. All right, Casual, it is your turn, and you're gonna you're gonna send us forth with all of the great things that you have coming out. Tell us what you got going on.
Well, we got book 6 is in the final stage of editing, so that's probably going to be coming out this year, quite soon. We're currently working on a webtoon, so we're doing all the production stuff for that right now as well, and yeah. and I'm still writing, still on the grind, 3 chapters a week.
That's awesome. I can totally picture Big D in that webtoon. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be
It's going to
great.
be epic. Yeah. And by the way, somebody earlier said, "Come on, Big D." I think it was Richie said, "Big D's the main character." We all know that.
Big D is extremely. I really like writing Big D, especially early Big D when he's all arrogant and cocky.
You just made a pun, my friend. Good
So
work.
I didn't even know that BOC made was like the chicken sound. Like Beware of Chicken, BOC was the chicken sound into like 6 months into things. I was like, oh, this really works.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even catch that. That's amazing.
Buck,
Yeah,
buck.
beware of chicken, Bach. That's perfect. I love it.
Somebody pointed it out to me. My mind is blown.
Oh my gosh, my mind is blown too.
Sometimes it just works out, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be. Yes. Well, on that note, everybody, thank you for being here, folks in chat. Sam, Casual. Dennis is like, oh my gosh, we just blew Dennis's mind. That's why it's not Beware of Rooster. Yeah. Boar would not be
it wouldn't work.
a good acronym. No. Oh, but thank you all for being here. And join us next week when we count down. It'll be week 16 next week. I can't believe it. So thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And this is where we say